thank you so much for being here today. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend a little bit with me and hear what I have to say. And if you're new here, my name's Erin, and this is where I do nutritional oracle card readings. And it's pretty much what it says it is. I will do a beautiful oracle card spread for the week, and I will take the information I get from the universe in the form of messages, the vibes of the energy, and what have you. I'll put all the information together and I will give you some nutritional suggestions, some food suggestions, little tips that you can use to kind of sail through your week smoothly, right? Because we want to have less stress. We want to have more fun, all right? That's what it's all about. Okay, so if you think that's something you'd enjoy, you can go ahead and subscribe if you like. And if you want to be notified when I put the brand sparkly new stuff up every week, then go ahead and ring that bell and you're in it to win it. Okay, if you think somebody that you know could benefit from the information that I have here today, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and share it with somebody if you're so inclined to do so. Now, with that, I think that we should probably get into our oracle card reading. So if you're ready, I'll see you in just a moment, and we will discuss what's going to be happening for September 7th through September 13th, 2020. See you in just a moment. Welcome to your oracle card reading for September 7th through September 13th, 2020. We're going to go ahead right now and just relax a little bit, kind of get centered, be mindful of our surroundings, let's be aware. And together in just a moment here, let's take a nice deep breath with each other just to kind of allow us to connect a little bit and all be on the same page. So we're gonna all take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth, and we'll do that now. Ready? In through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, that feels great. Thank you for doing that with me. I appreciate it. So now we are going to go ahead. Let's do our reading. The first thing we're going to look at is the energy that we can be expecting this week. So what we are going to want to know about the energy. Okay, roots of abundance. All right. So roots of abundance is an earth energy, and it deals with kind of material things of the earth, right? So it deals with stability, money, and it is also dealing with your identity, which we have been speaking on a few times, right? So, and this is just really lovely, okay? So I'm just, sorry, I'm like getting chills a little bit here because last week we were writing our story, right? And we've gone through the motions with this, right? We started out just kind of figuring out who we are, what are we going to do? What do we believe in? Where's our values? Then we were asked to write that down in your book, okay? Write your story. Let the world know how you want to be treated. Let me know that you believe in the truth that you have said is your identity. And now we're being asked to, okay, can you put down those roots now? Stick those roots into the ground and be stable in that. Be grounded in that. Be anchored. Will you be able to anchor that story of your life in for the long haul? All right. So you just can't make it up. That's just how it goes, right? So that's what we're being asked to do. And the roots are very nourishing, so very fitting, right, for our nutritional reading. And if you can anchor yourself into the ground and you can root down in, then you're grounded in that. You can manifest what you are desiring. You are unstoppable, right? You're thriving. These roots, when you're down in there, you're thriving. You're not like afraid. You're not like holding on, like, I don't know, like you're not using your roots to grab a hold and hold on with all your might. You're just grounded, and you know that you are, and you don't have to worry. So that's beautiful. I'm loving that. So thank you for that, Spirit. That's just plain amazing. Okay, let's look at some new cards here, and let's kind of dig into this energy. Let's see what we're going to be needing to know about our energy. Okay. Milk and honey, which we got last week. All right. So we're still being reminded of the excitement and also nourishment, right? We are fulfilled in every way. That conveys exactly that, right? So excitement and playfulness and just knowing that you have everything that you need to be nourished in your life. So go live it, right? Okay, and next we have the thinker, and she's in protection. She's a little fairy, and she has a lot on her mind, and in fact she has too much on her mind, and she's getting like analysis paralysis, right? This is asking us to stop. You're thinking too hard. You will not come to a conclusion that way. You need to step back, take a moment, do something else, okay, and then come back to it later. Or actually, when you start doing something else, this is when those ahas come, right? Your epiphanies is like, oh yeah, okay, that I get it. All right. So let's see next. We have mending. Pardon me. And mending is also in the protection position. So mending is talking about basically working together to heal, forgiveness, things like that. So when this is in the protection position, we're not feeling like we're working together. Okay? We're feeling like it's it's me, it's happening to me, it's a separation, all right? We don't feel like we're part of it. It could be due to loss or feeling of grief, some kind of heart emotion, right? So what this is saying is you're going to have to break your heart wide open. You're going to have to break open. You're going to have to feel. You're going to have to let that emotion in and feel it and allow it to be there, knowing that this is an experience that you are meant to have. This is information that you're going to need. This is healing that is going to help you even down the road, maybe sometime in your life, okay? And this is really talking about figuring out how to come back together as the whole instead of seeing yourself as a separate out of everything, right? Okay. So, well, let's do one more of these to just see if we can kind of clarify a little bit or get some more information. Okay, so we have the observer. So the observer is he's this little fox just looking through his telescope, and when he's looking through that telescope, he is lacking the ability to see the bigger picture. It's just his view that he sees and no one else's, basically. So this is asking us to take a step back and see if we can come at it through a different perspective. The situation, this is looking to me like it's a situation of the heart, maybe. We're thinking about it too much. There's some healing or some forgiveness, some letting go of maybe that needs to happen, and that it's just being observed in one way. This also talks about when this can come about through like certain conditions, like a cultural thing, or people's just certain beliefs, or just even a misunderstanding. A lot of times this happens not because somebody's trying to hurt you or do something to you. It's just a misunderstanding. It's their way of seeing things. And they're not trying to hurt you. They're just saying it how they know how to say it or what feels right to them. It's not personal. So this is saying, take a look again, right? See if you can take a step back and take that into consideration and see a new viewpoint. All right, so let's ask Luna what she thinks about it here. See if we can find a little more information, some message here. Okay, well, I'm gonna put it over here. So this says, don't let pride get in your way. This is full moon in Leo. Okay. That makes some sense, all right? That makes some sense. So Leo is heart, right? Leo has a big heart, and Leo likes to shine. And that is a beautiful thing, all right? It is how it is to be and how it should be. And this is talking about Leo in that full moon aspect of, okay, that's great, I'm happy, please do shine, but maybe you're shining in a way that is overpowering somebody or a certain situation in a prideful manner. Like, this is looking to me like, I just don't want to be wrong. I don't want to see it from somebody else's viewpoint. I want it to be the way that I see it, because it could be for numerous reasons, right? But I want it to be the way I see it. I don't want to have to look at it from another viewpoint, all right? So this is asking you to look at that. Look at your situation. Are you being prideful? Do you need to rethink that? This is also saying that you can, possibly get some answers. So if that situation isn't resonating with you, this is also saying, if you've been asking some questions, if you allow the answers to come in by opening yourself up, you can get the answers to your questions, right? They're going to come within. And it's also, Leo's creative, right? This is creative. Full moon is creativity too, right? Luna's creative. So this is also talking about creativity. And maybe we need to look into some creative ways to mend this situation or to be able to find perspective somewhere, okay? Okay, so let's try a couple more cards here and see what we can find out. Okay, Mintalkin. So Mintalkin is talking about, it says longing for home, belonging, the original light workers, okay? There we go, geez. And so this is talking about belonging again, okay? Separate. This is also, you're feeling separated. So this is talking about finding somewhere where we belong. And it's also talking about, when it's talking about light workers too, I don't know if you know what a light worker is. Most people usually do if they're here. But essentially light workers are healers, okay? And of like light, right? Healing with positivity, light, love, those kinds of things in a little bitty nutshell, okay? Anyway, a lot of times when you see light workers, they're very empathic. And if you don't know what that means, empathic means that essentially other people's energy affects you greatly to varying degrees. So if you're feeling a certain way and you're not sure why, it's usually because that energy isn't yours, it's somebody else's that you have been exposed to, and now you're bringing it in as your energy, but it's not. So this is where you will want to kind of take stock. If you're feeling some way and you don't know why, it's probably because it's not your energy. So research that and look into that. Just do a Google search. There's all kinds of information on how you can get rid of that energy so it's just your energy again, okay? And also, this planet here, okay, this card is very watery, right? The Mintalkins were at home near or in the water. So, and this is just speaking hydration to me. So and with the nourishment cards that we're seeing too. I'm just really getting the vibe of we need to be very hydrated and make sure that we are taking care to do that, all right? And let's see here. Let's do another one. Do another card for you, and that is Soul Family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. Okay, so we are really needing to call in our tribe. We need some support, okay? This situation needs to be taken care of, and we need to find who we can talk to that supports us the most. If you don't have somebody like that, a support team or person can be a therapist, a mentor, some sort of coach, anything like that. So if you need to go outside of who you know already, that's okay to do that, right? That is still your support team. And also, if you don't have people that you call your tribe or know as your soul family, the people who have things in common with you, excuse me, have your best interest at hand and want to support you, then the way that you attract that is by being like this card here, not prideful, but in the creative aspect of things and letting that shine. So if this situation of not belonging because of a certain loss or grief or something is holding you back, doesn't resonate with you, I'm feeling that this is another area that needs to be explored for some of you also, is that maybe you have not found your tribe yet, or you need to have a new tribe of sorts. Not that you have to let go of the old one, but maybe you need some new to come in. And by being creative and doing the things that you love and let you shine and putting that out there for others to see, right? Rooting into your truth, that attracts your soul family and your tribe. That attracts those people. And they're waiting for you as much as you're waiting for them. They need you as much as you need them. It's very much a together thing, okay? So we need to very much take a look into that and see where we need to be creative, all right? So let's do a fairy card and see what our fairy friends can say to us. Find balance. Find the balance between your work, rest, and playtime, and you will have more energy, harmony, and productivity in your life. Take a power nap. Okay, so this is saying exactly that, find balance. And you know, what a time to find balance, right? Everybody's at home right now. A lot of people are working remotely now. Kids are doing their schooling remotely now. We're at home, right? We're not really able to, we're supposed to be still kind of social distancing a little bit and be mindful of what's happening. So we're staying home so much. It can be so difficult to find the balance in order for us to do the things that make us feel fulfilled, right? So I think that we're going to need to take the time to kind of take stock in that. And when this says take a power nap, like take a power nap. Like if things feel like they're starting to get out of hand, just stop if at all possible and close your eyes. You don't have to go to sleep. Close your eyes and replenish yourself and think. Maybe that would be a great time to think about, how can I find more balance? How can I fit that into my schedule? Because clearly this is going to be very prevalent, right? Or a very vital part of us being able to do what we need to do. We need to find the balance to do all of the things that we need to attract our abundance, okay? And let's just do an affirmation card, inspiration, right? Let's have some inspiration to close out. We've got some good messages here, and let's just see. Feeling good will bring me far more than whatever I thought I needed. So yes, finding balance and feeling good, right? Belonging, right? Having support, being nourished in every way and getting our abundance, and by being creative. Like that, how much more what else could make you feel good, right? Just, that's great. So we just want to feel good this week, and guess what? We'll have even more than what we thought we were going to. So that's beautiful. What a great way to end. That brings me joy right there, okay? So I think with that, we'll go ahead and I have the things I need to know about the message here that we can talk about, and I'll meet you guys back in just a moment to talk some nutrition, okay? Okay, I hope you enjoyed the reading. I got some really good information that I can use today. I think the number one thing I would like to talk about is hydration. That was really coming through to me the whole time. And I know we did say we needed to talk about a couple of other things. So I'd like to kind of keep it a little brief if I can. I don't want to keep you guys here for too long because I can literally talk about water for probably 2 days straight. There's so many things water does for our bodies, and I don't think we realize, or if we do know, then it's easy to forget. It's easy to take advantage of what water does for us. So I think firstly, let's just kind of go into the heart health end of things. We talked about it in the physical cardiovascular aspect of it and also the emotional side of it. So I think it's very simple for the cardiovascular system. I was just kind of getting movement. Try to raise your heart rate. Do something a little bit differently maybe than what you're used to if you are not currently doing any exercise. But also just a little disclaimer here, make sure if you are trying to start something new with an exercise program that you take into consideration any kind of health issues that you currently have. And also, if you need to speak to your doctor or a medical professional before you start something new, also be doing that. You don't want to get yourself into a situation, right? Okay, so make sure you check first to make sure it's okay. All right, so the movement kind of thing, anything really. And yeah, you do want to raise your heart rate, but everybody's different. So do what feels good to you, especially if you're just starting out. Try different things, okay? Yoga, walking, brisk walking, jogging if you feel so inclined to do that. You can jump rope, you can swim, so many different things. I'm just hearing to, like any other muscle, start working that one. I think that's going to be important. And also, that's another reason why I think that we are going to be talking about hydration today, because we are talking about muscles of the body here and the way the body functions, and water is very important to how our systems work, okay, and perform and connect together and stay in working order and can communicate with each other in the right way to make the things happen that we want to happen, okay? So let's just touch briefly on the emotional side of the heart thing. We had that beautiful Leo card who was all about heart and creativity and showing that to the world, right? So I think we really need to express our creativity some way. You don't have to show it to anybody. It can be all by yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for you. Just something you can do to make yourself feel fulfilled, feel like you're bringing something new to the world that only you could create, and it makes you feel good inside. We want to feel good, right? Okay, so drawing, painting, writing, even reading. Even if you don't want to do something like that, you could read. Because even if it's a fiction book, even if it's like a nonfiction book, you're going to still be taken away from your current environment and think about something differently, right? And maybe get some new ideas. So that's okay too. Singing, playing music, anything like that. Anything can be creative, right? You just got to get creative about how you're being creative. All right. So with that being said, let's move on to hydration. Okay, so I do have my computer here because I have a couple notes. I want to stay on point so I don't get crazy carried away, all right? And I want to make sure that I hit the important kind of aspects of it that will maybe make more sense. So As most of us know, we're mostly water. And people say anywhere between, I've heard people say 60%, 90%, 60 to 80%. Okay? We got a lot of water in us, and water is in every single tissue in our body. It's important for us to be hydrated so that our body can function, lubricate our joints, okay? It also can transport nutrients. It helps cells talk to each other so they're on the same page and they're firing off and working together the way they need to so that we can function every day. And it also gets rid of the waste from our body, the things that we don't need anymore, old hormones, things like that, that has expired and needs to be expired from our body, okay? Now, also, it can help in some detoxification processes. Obviously, if you're doing some kind of a detox routine to get rid of heavy metals, or in order to heal your body to make it more readily absorb or more able to absorb nutrients, right? It does facilitate that detoxification process also. Okay, so I think what we need to know is this. Just because you drink water does not mean you're hydrated. If you want to be hydrated, you need to absorb that water because we lose water every single day. How do we lose it? Well, basically by breathing, peeing, pooping, and sweating. And that is your pretty picture for the day. So you're welcome. Sorry about that, but when you have those bodily functions, then you're losing the water. And if you add in the amount of diuretics that you're actually consuming, and if you're perspiring and any kind of stress factor, those all contribute to the loss of water. And that's normal. We need to add the water back in since we don't store it. So the way we add the water back in is by eating and drinking. Pretty simple. Now, our bodies can make a small amount of water because it's magic, but we'll focus on the eating and drinking because that's how you're going to get the water in your body that's going to make the difference, right? The small amount that our bodies can make is not sufficient to sustain us, all right? And as you know, or maybe you don't, but if you don't know, so you can go like several weeks without food before you have, die. But you can only go some days, right? You can't go very long, you can only go days without water. It's not very long before you have some serious consequences and maybe even death. So let's move on from that. Okay, so we don't want to be dehydrated. Dehydration is in fact a nutrient deficiency that we can have if we're not properly hydrated. Water is in fact a nutrient. So there you go. If you don't have it in you, you got a deficiency. So what makes us dehydrated and what are some of those symptoms? Diuretics, the things that you consume that make you pee a lot and expel a whole bunch of water, right? And you're not getting rid of like the other stuff that you're supposed to be getting rid of when you're excreting the urine, all right? So, and diuretics can be beverages like soda, even decaffeinated soda, coffees, teas, prescription medications, they're diuretics also. So those are all things to watch out for when you're consuming them. Okay, so some of the symptoms we can experience if we are experiencing dehydration is things like headaches, we can get fatigue, we can get cramps, we can start to be kind of irritable, and if it keeps going on and for a prolonged period of time, then those symptoms will worsen. The headaches can turn into migraines. The irritability can turn into anxiety or other forms. We can start experiencing heartburn. Our joints can start to ache because that water is so depleted from our bodies that we don't even have it readily available in our joints anymore to keep them lubricated and keep us flexible, which cause you to start having, aging issues, right? And we want to stay as young as we can for as long as we can. Well, at least I do anyway. I want to enjoy life as long as I can. All right. So another thing to look out for too is constipation. If you're dehydrated for a long period of time, you're going to experience that. And you definitely do not want to be constipated. We want to get rid of all of the waste that we need to get rid of every single day. We don't want that stuff sitting in our systems, clogging everything up, right? Okay, so we talked about eating and drinking to get the water, right? So eating and drinking to get the water, but absorbing it was what we were talking about. So the absorption of the water is made possible by electrolytes, which are basically minerals that are electrically charged in the water. So, and calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, those kinds of things. There's a lot more, but that's usually what we think of when we're talking about the electrolytes in water. All right, so you want to make sure that your water has those electrolytes available to you so you can absorb your water properly, right? Or you're just going to pee it out and it's not going to do you any good. So in order to get those electrolytes, you can simply put unrefined sea salt in your drinking water. You really only need 1 to 2 of those little granules to even do the trick. It doesn't take much at all. And you just let it absorb in the water, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, and you're good to go. You don't even really need to do it every time. You're going to want to play with that a little bit to see what works best for you. If you notice the roof of your mouth is starting to get rough and scratchy and sore, and your throat is starting to sting a little bit, you've probably overdone it. Now, I may be speaking from experience here, and I may not. So if you're prone to wanting to put a half a bucket of salt into your water and you can't control yourself like some people, then you could look to an electrolyte solution. They're just in a little squeezy tube bottle. It's a liquid that you just squeeze right into your beverage, and it has a little dosage amount. It's usually just like 1 squirt, 2 squirts, whatever the manufacturer suggests is there. And you could take it with you, so it's portable and it's always there for you. You don't have to wait for it to absorb and all that kind of stuff. So if that's more your jam, they're not very expensive. There's lots of them out there. Just make sure you're getting a decent quality one, a one that's going to work well for you, right? So do your research. I'm going to say that every single time, at least 400 times a video, okay? Do your research. Make sure you know what you're getting, all right? So that's how we're going to absorb that water. And of course, we're going to talk about water quality. Does it matter? Absolutely. Yes, 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 and yes. I know a lot of people want to have the best quality water they can, and they really make a huge effort to have the best quality water available to them. And that is exactly what you want to do, right? That's perfect. Now, if you don't really understand about any of this because you're just starting out, that's totally okay. Now, if you're drinking tap water or well water, then you could, you're drinking just whatever's in there. If you don't know what's in your water, you can find out by either having it tested. I think the kits are fairly inexpensive and super simple. I don't think it's very time consuming. And if you don't want to go that route, most of the water companies, I believe, have the reports just online. That's where I found mine. So you can read the report, see what's in the water, and then decide if you need to take action and do something differently or not, right? Your choice. Now, if you do decide to do it a little bit differently and you want to invest in some kind of filtration system or whatever other avenue there is for you to do, another solution, there are so many options available, right? There's the pitcher filters. You can have the filters on the counter, on the faucet, under the sink. They have systems that do your whole home, so all of the water is filtered in your whole entire house. You can get the tub and shower filters for your bathroom if you need to do that. And they even have like reverse osmosis that like takes everything out of the water, but that includes your electrolytes, right? It includes the minerals. So you gotta make sure you put those back in if that's the route you're gonna go. So you need to do your research really well on that. You're gonna have to decide what is best for you and your family. What makes the most sense for your health goals and your budget, right? That comes into play, and that's okay. You're going to be able to find a solution that works for you. I'm very confident in that, right? We're resourceful, right? We are resourceful when we need to be. We can do it. All right. And I think, so the biggest, it's really important to take that quality of water into consideration because we are constantly in contact with it, right? We wash our hands, especially nowadays. We are constantly washing our hands. We take our showers probably at least every single day. We drink it all day long. People play out in the sprinklers. The kids play out in the sprinkler, right? In the summertime, like we're constantly in contact with water. And you're not just bringing that water in through eating and drinking. When you're coming into contact with it on your skin, that's your largest organ. That's letting that water inside you. So you really want to know what's happening with your water there so that you can discern whether or not you need to take action to do something a little bit differently, okay? All right. And so some of the things that can be in the water that we don't want to have is it can be contaminated with lead, aluminum, there's bacteria and viruses in there, arsenic. It can even have medications. When people put the medications in the sink, right, or flush them down the toilet, they have found medication in your water, right? So not particularly your water, but they have found that medication is in water in areas, and you're drinking that, and that can very much interfere with your body, right? If you don't need that in there and you're ingesting it, that's going to mess something up. So it's really important for you to really think about if you need to take some steps to do something a little differently with your water quality, okay? Now, so we talked about the water systems and you doing your due diligence, right? And figuring out what's best for you and if you do want to take action or not. And I just want to touch on, we just need to remember we're on a journey. This is not the fast race, right? We're not trying to get to the finish line as soon as possible. We're trying to listen to our bodies and understand what's going on here and really make some decisions that we feel great about, that we know are the right decisions. So don't be stressed out and think you have to do everything all in one swoop. I still have things with the water issue that I want to work out and that I'm trying to deal with. So don't feel like you have to do it all in one day, right? Take your time, do your research, and then take action on what you are able to take action on that feels good and right to you. And we want to keep our sanity, right? We don't want to be stressed out and crazy. We're trying to have enjoyment. We're trying to love life. And we're not going to love life if we're going crazy worrying about what's going on with the water all the time, right? We will find the solution. Okay, so last thing here, let's talk about how much water we need to drink. Most people kind of know this, but again, if you don't or if you do, this is what I know. The rule of thumb is you take your body weight, divide it by 2, and that will give you the amount of ounces of water that you'll want to consume every day to stay healthy. Now, take into consideration the diuretics, the perspiring, all of that kind of thing. We need to put the water back because we don't store it, right? We don't store water. So we need to add it back in. So it's the general rule of thumb that I know of is 8 to 12 ounces added in for the amount of diuretics that you have taken in through your body throughout the day, okay? Now, with that being said, you can go overboard with water. Don't drink too much, okay? Don't guzzle it down and, oh, I forgot to drink water today. I'm going to just sit here and drink as much water as I can humanly consume in one sitting, okay? Too much water is still too much. It's just like anything else. It's not going to do you any good. So be mindful. That's another thing that we're working on too, right? Being mindful. It's okay. You need to not gulp it down. So let's just wrap it up in this little tippy thing here. So We don't want to guzzle our water. We want to sip it throughout the day. And if we can refrain from drinking about a half an hour before and a half an hour after our meals, then we're going to be able to not only digest our food better, but then have a clear pathway for when we start drinking that water, for nothing to interfere with that so we can absorb that water even better. Okay, so sip and don't gulp, right? Add the electrolytes in. If you need to add the electrolytes in, take the quality of water into consideration so that you know what you have in your going into your body when you drink your water. All right, and and just make sure that you drink enough water, but not too much. Balance, right? We had the balance fairy card. We're going to be balancing this week between work and play and everything in between. So I think that will just about do it for this week, and we can wrap it up now. And I will send you guys loving, healing energy and wish you the best of weeks. Stay hydrated and have fun. And I will see you guys back again very soon. See you later.